Hi everyone, what is up? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new, my name is Brianna.
And I am Corey.
And today we are answering all of your Walt Disney World questions from our recent May trip that we, March. We're going in May.
The other M
our
month,
March,
that one.
Crazy, it's been a morning. We got so many questions on the podcast page and on my Instagram of just random things throughout the trip that I was like, you know what, let me see if I put out a question box if people will be interested or want us to do an entire video Q&A on the March trip in particular. And they did. You guys came through with the questions.
Clutch.
So many. There was probably over, I don't know if I told you this, but there was probably over just accumulatively 45 different questions that came in.
And I'm excited because there's one specifically geared towards
me.
You.
People are asking crazy questions about Corey, which is amazing. So what we're going to end up doing is this is going to be a Q&A all based on our March trip. There's still some really amazing stuff to come. We'll talk about what we're going to talk about in a second. But in the next month, I've still compiled all those questions that were more generalized. We got a lot of questions like, what's your favorite Magic Kingdom quick service? What's your favorite drinks in Epcot? But like, we didn't do a lot of that. That's more like generic Disney stuff. So we're gonna do that video in another month, but I thought let's hop onto the channel and do some March Disney Q&A questions.
Let's do this.
Yeah, so if you are new, make sure that you hit that subscribe button down below.
Please give that video a big thumbs up. And
comment down below if you like this style. Corey and I do have a podcast if you're stumbling upon our Disney video. If you're at all curious, we do have a podcast. It's called the Magic at Home Podcast.
This could be a fun way to test videoing a podcast.
It could be. This is basically like a podcast. We are so excited for today. So let's get into what kind of questions we're going to be covering from the March trip. I went ahead and broke these questions out into different categories. So we have French Quarter review and just all French Quarter Disney hotel questions.
Nice.
We ended up staying at a new hotel, which was Disney's Port Orleans French Quarter. We'll talk about it. We're obsessed. We love it. Next, we're going to talk about park hopping. It was our first time park hopping. We got a ton of like nuanced park hopping questions, what we thought about park hopping in general. Would we ever do it again? Did we hate it? Did we love it? We got some Genie Plus questions.
By the way, on the Disney Plus little segment, the Mickey Mouse documentary,
loving it. We still have 30 minutes
We
left.
still have 30 minutes of it,
can't
but the
forget
first
to finish
hour
that.
of it, lovely.
So Genie Plus questions, and then we had a few miscellaneous questions. For example, we had, where are my white sequin ears from? What kind of makeup do I wear in the park? We're just gonna dive right in, and first we're gonna start out with the French Quarter review and just all French Quarter questions in general. So the first question that we are diving into today is all things French Quarter, which is where we stayed. So like I mentioned before, Corey and I, this was our first time ever staying at Port Orleans French Quarter. Now, Port Orleans has two resorts. One is French Quarter, one is Riverside. They are conjoining. We'll talk about that later. People just asked for a full-on French Quarter review. We always review hotels pretty well. So I think people just want to know like what our thoughts were. So basically, French Quarter review, first question, can you talk about the hotel rooms, the pool, the main lobby, transportation, bus and boat, etc. So how, like, can we talk about just French Quarter in general and what we thought?
I'll start with transportation.
Okay, go ahead.
Cool. So there is two forms of transportation at Port Orleans French Quarter.
I'm also snacking.
Beautiful. It is bus and it is boat.
Yeah.
But specifically, mind you, boat is only for Disney Springs, but you can do bus for Disney Springs as well, so to not be confused. So boat is not your only form of transportation. The boat is located directly behind the pool, literally in the main center area, if you will. So it's very center for everyone, no matter what building you are in.
Yeah.
And there's easy walkways along the outskirts of the resort or in between each building for easy access to get to. I was a big fan of the boat ride.
I loved the boat.
Very soothing, very relaxing, gives you a nice little sea breeze, and I was all for it. I wish we could be more on the boat for transportation purposes.
Me too. I think it felt very, like, it just made me feel that we were secluded from Disney for a moment, and I really enjoyed that. Like, we've been going to Disney a lot recently, and it's just something that we've come to really love and enjoy. And I just feel that being on the boat didn't feel like we're also recording outside in Florida, so if you're hearing some birds or ducks or animals, I'm just putting a disclaimer.
I think they're okay.
I'm just putting a disclaimer. I just loved the boat. What I was trying to say was, it just felt so beautiful, so scenic. You got to see just a ton of nature. You weren't driving down an interstate or a road.
A fun thing that I love that we got to see is that you got to see the tree houses house villas.
That was really cool.
That's really cool. I did not know where those were located at all, and you ride right past it on specifically the Port Orleans and Riverside boat routes.
Yeah.
The Saratoga Springs and Key West, you wouldn't be able to see those,
yeah.
but it was really cool to see.
I thought it was cool.
And then they just had bus, and bus is only for parks.
Yep.
But the bus is literally right off to, once you walk out the front door of the main foyer reception area, it's to the right. Port Orleans is very small. It's not like you have a large resort that you have to rush to. There's just the one stop, but no matter where you are in that resort, it's less than a 5-minute walk easily to said
100%. I don't think that we ever even like waited long for a bus too. There's only one bus station, but it's not a bus station like
and they don't get
Pop
packed.
Century.
It's not packed.
No, it wasn't packed. I'm gonna dive into the hotel rooms and I'll talk about the pool, but I'll make sure I don't get angry about the pool.
Don't get angry.
But I am gonna talk about it. The hotel rooms were honestly a 10 out of 10. This room was so spacious, absolutely huge. The dresser space was massive.
Oh my god, those drawers were literally like a foot deep.
I mean, you could have fit from here to here. Like, it was super, I mean...
You had space.
So much space.
Awesome.
That was something that I almost wish, looking back...
For you overpackers, dream.
Well, absolutely an overpacker's dream. But the other thing, too, is that the closet in the bathroom was absolutely huge as well. So if you had asked for another 20 hangers, I mean, you could have fit 4 people in there with full check bags, and I don't even think you would have had that much of a problem.
We got to the point of
I was putting my shoes in the drawer.
We just hung up stuff
because we like to hang clothes.
Because we like to hang clothes. Yes. But it's like we folded and just put everything in the drawer, but we left really like 2 or 3 things to hang where it's like, this is silly. Let's at least hang more stuff. Yeah. Because you could fit so much in there.
So much in there. So I would say the hotel room was a 10 out of 10.
Lovely.
It is probably so far the best moderate resort hotel room that we have stayed in. I absolutely loved it. I would give the hotel a room a 9 out of 10. My only...
I thought it was 10 out of 10.
No, a 9 out of 10 because I did feel that the bathroom was a little bit small.
And no, but you know what? And also to hop on that. Also it feels small because if you want the door open, you're opening the door into the bathroom.
Yeah.
And it's literally just going straight into the toilet. And then you're going 2 steps into the shower. So that's where I can understand and agree with you of how it is small.
Yeah, but either way, I still thought that it was amazing. Thought it was great. Next, the pool. I'm gonna make this quick because we have talked about it a lot so far. We talked about it in the vlog series. I thought the pool was a beautiful pool layout. I thought that it was nice. However, there was nowhere near enough chairs. Like, we were fighting for chairs at the pool. When I'm paying $320 a night for a resort, I do not want to be fighting with the pool chair.
We pay for convenience, and that was inconvenient.
And that was super inconvenient, and I would say that was a little bit of a downside. The idea of coming to the pool in between the park day there would be a little bit challenging, and I would say that the pool was probably was the thing that made me the most deterrent of the resort, said resort.
If you want to hear the full rant, you can check this out on the Magic at Home podcast.
Yeah, because we are going to be talking about it.
Brianna went off on it, but at least like going through the pool, yes, the chairs were the issues, but it was a fun themed pool.
I loved the pool itself.
It was Mardi Gras themed.
Yes.
It was fun. It was cool to look at, but how they set it up with their structures and whatnot and placement of things and also just like design of the pool, they ruined themselves out of anywhere from additional 40 to 50 chairs they could have put in this pool.
Yeah, I would agree. And I just felt for the amount of time that we enjoy going to the pool in between the park day to like get a quick, sun in, a nap in the sun, it would just like, it made me not want to be at the pool. So the last 2 things we'll do full review and then we'll dive into some more questions. Main lobby, thought the main lobby was great. You have Sassagoula Floatworks Cafe, food for dining. I thought the food here was great in terms of
food was lovely for quick service. Absolutely.
Quick service food was fantastic. This is where you can also get the Mickey beignets, which the Mickey beignets were delicious.
And you, like, prefaced on that, this is the only place
that you can get them. They were fabulous.
Awesome, and they give you 3 dipping sauces of strawberry, caramel, chocolate. Strawberry wins.
Hands down, strawberry was so much better. And I thought the main lobby was really nice. We never are sitting in the main lobby though, so I just like...
We were in the main lobby for all of 3 minutes, and that was when we had to just update our cards on our Magic
and like call it a day. The one thing I do want to share about the resort in terms of full review, there is no bad room at this resort. It is so small, it is so quaint that we were in building 2, we were in like the perfect spot. We were almost like looking at the pool, but building 6 was like 1 building away. It was not far at all. This is like the perfect, small, quaint resort. I also loved that Corey said this first, which I could not agree with more. We were walking at one point and Corey was like, every time I step onto the street, it feels like I need to look for a car. It feels like you're in a town.
It feels like you're walking on a street. It feels like you're in a town.
Yeah.
And it feels like you're walking, because they have the sidewalk and then they have the road, but the road is like probably the size of 2 sidewalk widths.
Yeah.
it feels like you're walking on a road, and I'm like, ooh, check both sides.
Should I check for cars? I loved this resort. I would give its entirety entirety resort rating. I think we should rate 1 to 10, and then we can get into some more of the specific questions.
I'm giving it a 9.
You're giving it a 9 out of 10?
Yes.
What do you feel like you're knocking points for?
It's the same reason why you knock points off for the pool. It's the pool. That was it. But specifically the chairs for the pool. Yeah. That's my knock to it.
It wasn't the pool itself, it was the chairs.
I thought the room was lovely. The size of the room was spectacular. The size of the resort is beautifully small, that like you don't have to be in a chaotic large place. Yeah. With a lot of people, not a lot of people there, which is also great. Food lovely. Literally, the only knock is the chairs.
Chairs. I'm gonna say, I'm gonna say an 8.5 then. Because the thing is I really would rate it so high. Next question is, how was transportation to and from the parks with French Quarter? I can talk about this quickly. We already really covered it. I thought it was perfect. The bus ride was not super long. I think that was something that a lot of people like asked about, was like, is the bus ride long? Do you feel like you're waiting a lot? No, I felt like it was just your standard. I felt like transportation was perfect.
That's great.
All right. Thinking about staying at French Quarter, I have always stayed at Riverside. Thoughts? So this question is someone that's always stayed at Riverside, but now is thinking about staying at French Quarter. Like, what do we think?
Now, obviously, I can't answer to Riverside because we haven't stayed, but we've walked around. Very cute area. We can see why you consistently go there. We now want to go there. It looks great. It's beautiful. What I would give the edge to French Quarter for is sheer size of resort and walkability. Yep. You're close to everything, and that's great. I'm going to probably give a nod to transportation on the busing as well, because you only have the one bus stop, and I never
you have all the bus stops.
No, but what I'm saying about French Quarter.
Oh, sorry.
You have the one bus stop, and I never felt crowded. Where with a Riverside Resort, since you have the multiple bus stops, who knows how many people are on that bus, and if you feel cramped, I don't know. Yeah. So I will give the edge to French Quarter based off of those 2 reasons, I'm sure, and giving it a reason to give it a shot and see if you like it.
I would 100% say give French Quarter a try. I think it is quaint. I think it feels very much like you're walking in a town. I think it does not feel very large. There is no preferred room here because everything is actually that close. In my opinion, the perfect size for when you're tired at Disney but want to feel secluded from the Disney magic as well. I would say 1000% give it a try. The next is, how was staying at Port Orleans French Quarter compared to Pop and other resorts that you've stayed at? This is a great question.
This is a great question.
Can I start?
Absolutely.
It definitely felt so quaint and so small. That made me really, really happy. I loved that feeling. Pop is massive, and Pop is just your standard value, getting the best bang for your buck resort, right? So that's number 1. We've stayed at All-Star Movies for 1 night, so I'm not really gonna like include that one in here. And then we've also stayed at Coronado in 2 ways. We've stayed at Coronado in Grand Destino, and we've stayed at Coronado in the standard rooms. That resort is the size of Magic Kingdom. That is fact. So I would say that...
But it was a different experience compared to Pop as well.
Yeah, totally different. So I would say just in general, how was staying compared to other resorts? This one is really slowly getting the edge.
It's slowly getting the edge. Now, obviously...
For the quaintness, in my opinion, and the food.
The food is great, but then they also have your kid-friendly items. So it is a great option. I
would say it was just, in comparing other resorts that we've stayed at, smaller. It feels more quaint. The perfect resort for, I think, our age demographic, I think, and anyone older too, and families. I really think it is the perfect general resort. All right, next question. Compare Pop to French Quarter. Price, transportation, food, rooms, and pool. I can start this one. I can do it, like what I would say quickly. Sure. So, comparing Pop to French Quarter, price, we paid $320 a night. Pop, we normally pay $220, so it's about $100 difference in terms of price. I would say comparing. Transportation, both have buses, and then both have an additional layer of transportation.
But Pop gets the edge for you have the Skyliner,
which
and that
takes you
has
to the
2 parks of Hollywood Studios and Epcot.
However, the other thing is if you're wanting to spend a lot of your time at Disney Springs, then the knock might be to, or not the knock, but you have to take the bus, your edge, you have the boat option. Right, you might love that because you get to take the boat. So they do have 2 different forms of transportation. French Quarter's got the boat and the bus. Pop has the Skyliner and The bus, I like the Skyliner more than the boat because we are lovers of the Skyliner. The Skyliner to Epcot and the Skyliner to Hollywood Studios is relatively quick.
It's awesome too.
But it's the same on the street as well. Like on the bus, I would say it wasn't any farther.
Right.
And if you're staying at Pop and you have to transfer, sometimes you're waiting in that line, and then going to Epcot is normally about 30 minutes.
Right.
So I would say that. Next was, let's do food and rooms. Oh my God, French Quarter so outweighs the food at Pop.
Oh my God. Pop is your like standard
burger,
tender pizza.
That's it.
Bye. French Quarter, you have a vast array. You had your upscale burger that I had of the
it's like
Baton
specialty
Rouge
to
burger.
the resort.
It's more specialty to the resort food, which is awesome. And then also just the quality of food. I'm sorry,
and
Brianna got a half chicken. Sorry.
Yeah,
awesome.
Which was amazing. The beignets were delicious. And I'm pretty sure that that is a cafe, so you can also get different coffee drinks there.
Yes.
So I thought that was pretty cool. Next is just rooms. I mean, Pop Century's smaller. They have a trundle bed, and you only have one sink, and there's smaller closet space.
Where for French Quarter, you have a bigger room space. You have a dual vanity, probably a smaller toilet space if you ask Brianna.
Yeah, you do.
But you have two queen size mattresses.
Yeah, we love a double sink.
And then more closet space.
Yes, the pool. I've never had an issue at the Pop Century pool.
I've never had an issue.
So I'm gonna give the
Hippy Dippy pool.
Yeah, the Hippy Dippy pool is where it's at. I'm gonna give the level up to that pool in terms of like laying on the chair.
Yeah.
The chairs are plastic there, and the chairs at French Quarter
like a canvas
they were
chaise
beautiful.
lounge. Yeah, it was nice.
I want to say that I liked the pool bar at French Quarter better.
Yes.
But I actually can't say that for me. You probably can, but I can't because had I gotten a pina colada at Pop, I would have loved it. So what would you say for pool bar? Did you like the drinks better?
Because yes, Pop Century had specialty drinks, but it was just your standard, just like tropical vacation drinks, and like that was it. There was nothing unique to them. The French Quarter had the same drinks, but then some that was unique to the theming of the resort. So I'm giving the edge to French Quarter based off of the offerings that you give, and from what I had, absolutely delicious.
Yeah. So I would say just overall in terms of comparing, this is the first time now that I'm, you know, the birds. This is the first time now that we're sitting down talking about it that I truly in this moment feel like you do get more for your money at a moderate versus
100%.
And I haven't felt that yet because on our first trip when we stayed at Coronado, we didn't eat there because we were just in the park all day. We never thought we'd come back to Disney. Look at us now. So I would say that is how I am feeling, is you are going to pay more. However, if I wanted to spend the extra $800 for a trip, I would maybe do it.
But here's the
difference.
I would miss the Skyliner. But here's the difference, and this is where we differ then from most people.
Yeah.
We go back during the middle of the day back to the resort to enjoy the amenities via pool, freshen up, and whatnot, where others would stay in the park all day. If that's your MO, choose Pop.
Yeah,
you're only in the room. Choose an all-star.
We'd be saving
only
money
in the room
too.
to sleep.
Yeah.
But for us, since we truly want to embrace being at the resort, the value of the additional $100 a night is there for us because we are getting the money's worth out of it.
Yes, 1000%. If we ever, when we go back for another longer stint of time, I would book there again. So I thought it was great. How was the resort, and would you recommend this resort to someone with DVC? How was the resort? Amazing. I feel like we've covered that. Would we recommend this to someone with DVC? So yes, however, I don't think that you can use your DVC points.
I don't think you can use your DVC points.
Resorts.
So just for, because trust me, we are interested in pursuing DVC like down the line, so we understand how much you are spending. Is it worth the additional costs of what you're additionally spending on? Probably not. You're probably going to get a better experience going to another DVC resort just to get your value add out of it.
Yeah, I actually do think that I would recommend this to someone with DVC because it did feel very elevated and very quaint.
Sure.
If you're going on a trip and you own DVC and you're using DVC, book like 1 or 2 nights here.
Oh, and do
like just book your first night of your vacation here just rather than using your DVC points, and don't go into the parks and just enjoy the resort, go to Disney Springs, hang out, see if you feel like you like it, because if we
That's a great perspective.
Because I think the way I'm also thinking of this question is, if you and I have DVC, I'm not going to not go to these other resorts.
And I can agree.
You also can save some money. If you're trying to bank your points to go somewhere fancier, then yeah, I would definitely recommend this. It feels more elevated, right? This is so different than recommending all-star movies to someone who wants DVC.
Correct.
Alrighty, so now we are on to some park hopping questions, because This was our first time ever park hopping, ever having a park hopper pass. We decided at the last minute when we booked this trip to do park hopper passes. First question was, how was park hopping for the first time?
I was the biggest critic of park hopping. I was so skeptical about it. I was freaking out. I didn't think it was worth it. They made me a believer. It was awesome. I will do it a million times over again. The only thing I would change is obviously for how we scheduled our times, like going back and forth to parks multiple times probably wasn't the most logistically best way to do it. But let me tell you, if you're doing park in the morning, park in the afternoon / night, I'm doing it. And,
I loved it.
And especially for us, that like if we want to do more weekend trips, just a quick jaunt just to go down there, it just makes our life so much easier if we literally wanted to do a Friday to a Monday. And then bing, bang, boom, you're done. It would be awesome. I
want to just echo everything that you said because I think you just said it so perfectly. I absolutely loved park hopping. I wasn't sure how I was going to feel because I actually really enjoyed going into the park in the morning and then getting to leave and go back to the same park, because if I feel like I'm not done yet, I get more time in that park. I just enjoyed always doing one park, so we never felt like in the trips that we've been on that we've had to smush things together. We have never had to do that. We decided to do the park hopper because we only take my dad normally once a year and he doesn't get to see a lot. Now, we were gonna do a day in Magic Kingdom no matter what, and then a day in Animal Kingdom, and I said, Corey, we literally could do Animal Kingdom in 3 hours. I don't think that he's gonna enjoy going back and just like walking for hours and eating in Animal Kingdom, where we like that. He only gets to go to Disney once a year, so that's not really fair. So you know what, at the last minute we ended up surprising my dad, and when I was checking out I was like, oh, and by the way, I added the park hopper option. And that's really how we're doing park hopper. We weren't even originally planning to do it. No. I absolutely loved it. I think that I will do it all the time now. Because in theory, when you look at it, I don't know the numerical difference. I think it's only an additional like $100 or $150 depending on how many days you're going and what the
you were saying in total. I was like, that's not per day.
No, sorry, not per day. Just like total to add up the park hopper option onto your tickets.
I think
you don't even have to you don't even have to go to 2 parks a day if you don't want to.
You don't want
just
to.
Go to one.
Just go back.
But if there's certain days that you're like, okay, it's our second time in Magic Kingdom today, like a second time in Magic Kingdom this trip, we're kind of done, like, why don't we go to Epcot and like eat around the world and have a drink and watch their fireworks? Like, we would never be able to do that had we not park hopped
As you can see from our vlogs, I don't know if this vlog is up yet, but like when we did the Magic Kingdom and Epcot day,
all the vlogs are up.
Beautiful. Magic Kingdom in the morning, we went back, we did a very small stint in Epcot, because literally all we wanted to accomplish was Guardians. Brianna wanted to find a shirt in a store that she thought it was going to be in, because that's the store that was consistently mentioned. And then we just had a quick beer in the UK Pavilion, and then we bounced back to Magic Kingdom.
Well, we also ate at Garden Grill, which we were not supposed to do.
Yeah. We were originally supposed to do just like putts around and whatnot.
And eat through the festival, but my dad really wanted a sit-down dinner, so that took an hour and a half, and then it rained, so then it took us 2 hours. So it was just like a longer thing. But anyway, I loved park hopping.
I thought it was great. I thought it was great. And I can't wait to do it in May.
How did you like park hopping compared to staying at one park all day? So I want to, the reason I took this question a step further is because I really did like park hopping. I thought it was amazing. However, with that being said, if we ever did, for example, a trip where we went for 11 days, I do think that it would be beneficial to do half of the trip park hopper and half of the trip individuals, because it is nice to spend the entire day in one park. You can't do everything you want to do in half the day.
Correct.
You can't eat everything you want, you can't ride everything you want, you can't shop how you want, because for example,
we didn't get spring rolls again.
Right, like we didn't get spring rolls because we left at 11:30 and then we're back at 8 o'clock and the spring roll cart is closed.
Yes.
So when you're thinking about things like that, I do still love the idea of one park for the day, because you can try 5 different food places or booths or snacks. You can't do that if you're going in just the morning time, because I mean, if you're leaving at noon, the afternoon snacks are open for like an hour.
I'm excited for our May trip because we have obviously 2 park hopper days, but then we also have just a single day of just one park, and that one park is Epcot. And I feel as though Epcot is one of the better parks to make sure you have the full day with.
If you're an adult.
If you're an adult, because the morning we do the rides, and then the afternoon we do the grazing and the eating and the drinking.
So the next 3 questions are a little bit more specific to people that ask them, so I think it would just be fun to answer. Now that y'all have experienced park hopper, for a 6-day Disney trip, would you still do one park a day? Like if we went to Disney for 6 6 days, I'm assuming travel day and then travel day, so we have 4 days in the middle.
Yeah.
Or if we have 6 days, would we do one park, or would we buy park hoppers? I would buy park hoppers.
I would buy park hoppers because, like Brianna said earlier, you can just stay at one park all day.
You don't
it
have
doesn't
to
matter.
park hop.
You don't have to park hop. You just have the park hopper ticket. It's accessible to you.
Yeah.
So I feel as though, and I think Brianna can attest to this as well, it's better off to have the park hopper option.
Yeah.
Just so you know it's there. Because if you want to go back, because let's say you did Magic Kingdom in the morning, obviously that's everyone's favorite nostalgia park. That is the true Disney World park. And you want to go back because you feel as though you missed out on something, or you don't want to miss something, or you just feel as though you didn't get the full extent of it.
Yeah.
Then go back. No big deal.
I think I would do park hoppers. However, I wouldn't really lean on the park hopper until maybe like the end of the trip. Like I think this is where park hoppers are so great and where single day tickets are so great. If we were going for 6 days or 8 days, travel day and travel day, because Corey and I don't normally go to the parks on our days, I think the first 3 days would be a full day in MK, a full day in Hollywood Studios, and a full day in Epcot. Because I would not do a full day in Animal Kingdom.
I'm only laughing because that's literally how my mind would go. But I wouldn't do like full day right off the rip. I may have done like full day.
Something else.
Park hopper, full day, something else. But like she's in the same.
Yeah, we're all in the same. Which I knew you were probably going to say. So I would do, I would do 3 full days in your 3 or 4 favorite parks that you're looking for. Maybe it's like 4 full days, 1 in each park, and then 2 days of park hoppers for whatever you feel like you missed. Yeah. I think that's what I would do. All right, next, is park hopping worth it for a full 2-week trip or for some of it? Yes.
Yes.
Now knowing that we did park hopper, if I could go back to our September trip, I would have booked park hoppers for the whole thing. I would have booked park hoppers for the whole thing for the same reasons mentioned. Whole thing.
It's so you have it.
If you are going for, I'm just going to use this for easy math, 10 park days, I would choose 5 to 6 park days that are just 1-day tickets and the other 4 as park hoppers.
I was gonna say 7.
And let me tell you why. You don't want to feel restricted by the park hopper. That is how we felt with going back to Magic Kingdom for the fireworks. We felt like we had to use the park hopper because we paid for it, but in hindsight, we could have just went back to Magic Kingdom. Right. We could have just done something else. So I would say if you're going for that long, allow yourself to do morning till night in the parks and really get your full day. And then at the end of your trip, go back into the parks for your few favorite rides, your few favorite snacks. Sleep in one morning. That's what I would recommend. I would say split it 50-50. Split it right down the middle. Do half full day parks and half park hoppers. That's what I would say.
This is why she's the planner.
This is why I'm the boss. I know this is your first time using park hoppers. I'd love to hear your pros and cons and what the overall experience was like. Was it worth it?
Pros, it gives you peace of mind that you get to see everything.
Yep.
It gives you peace of mind that you can go back to the park that you were there originally if you missed out on something. It gives you accessibility to all parks, no matter what park you want to do.
I think I just got some of my coffee.
The only con, yes you did. The only con I would say, and I said it right as we started talking about park hopper,
yeah,
if you plan it poorly, I can see how it could be stressful and annoying.
Yeah.
So just make sure you're just planning accordingly to what exactly you wish to be wanting to doing.
I would say same thing for pros. I like the flexibility. I like that you can also kind of do different transportation. The way that you can use your park hoppers, I think, is really beneficial. For example, when we did Animal Kingdom and Hollywood Studios as a park hopper pair, I got to stack 4 rides for Lightning Lanes in the evening at Hollywood Studios because of the way that it was paired, and I got to do both parks fully, and I thought that was great. I would say the biggest con is if you're not planning correctly, and if you want to go to Magic Kingdom for the fireworks, but you also want to go to Magic Kingdom in the morning, like you probably shouldn't have a rest in the afternoon. Yeah. Maybe that's like a smaller park that you're not as dying to see because of the hours. And I would say the other con is mentally, and this is me, and Corey will attest, if I have a park hopper, I want to use it. So I think mentally it messes with you. If you're gonna stay in one park all day and not use the park hopper, you're gonna think you're wasting it. That's a con. Mentally, that's a con.
If I'm paying for it, I want to
use it. Right. So I would say that's the con, is
because you are paying a little bit more.
You are gonna pay a little bit more, right? So if you're gonna feel like you want to use the park hopper, it's going to feel like a con if you're not like using it. All right, do you like park hopper or regular tickets more? Did you guys like park hopper or do you prefer just one park a day? I think we've kind of covered that. Definitely park hopper. However, like I said, if we're going for a longer trip, I will always book one full day in at least Hollywood Studios, Magic Kingdom, and Epcot, and then I would do park hoppers for the remaining 2 days and fill in the gaps that we didn't get to see. So now we are going to move into our Genie Plus questions. So the question is, my partner and I are going in May, wondering if Genie is worth it. In my opinion, yes.
Always.
Some people may say no, and I totally get why you would say no, because maybe you don't want to pay for it. However, Corey and I have said this time and time again, we're gonna pay for convenience. I am spending so much money already to go to Disney. I'm paying for Genie Plus.
And I've said this, I've beat a dead horse with it time and time again. I'm not waiting 90 minutes for 90 seconds. For lack of a phrase, my time is valuable for when I'm there.
Yeah.
I don't want it to be wasted waiting in line.
Absolutely.
I am going to pay for the convenience that I have. Now, granted, we understand that it's an additional cost on a daily basis for people, and we totally get that. But
because it is
expensive. If you can swindle, finagle it, whatever, please get it. It's going to make your experience so much better.
Let's add this too. This is not a question, but I think it could be important to talk about. If I had to pick 2 parks to choose Genie Plus for, it would be Hollywood Studios and Magic Kingdom.
Nailed it.
Like, Epcot's got great rides, but you might be able to capture them in Rope Drop Early Park Entry, and Animal Kingdom, like, just get there in the morning and you're fine. Next is, can you expand more on the Early Park Entry and the Rope Drop pick? I saw that you said no Mine Train.
Mine Train going off of the Disney, the Genie Plus thing, and this is on the vlog as well. We will pay for Mine Train.
Yeah, always.
Pay to cut the line. Do not waste your time sprinting to a ride that you're still going to end up having to wait more than a half hour for.
Yeah.
No, don't do that, please.
Absolutely not worth it.
Rope Drop,
Peter Pan's Flight. Always.
Then you go to, because we have mastered this. This is our itinerary.
This is our
every
itinerary.
time. Goes Peter Pan's Flight, Small World, Haunted Mansion, Big Thunder, and it's not even 9:30. We conquer so much.
It's
people who go to Mine Train first, that's your morning.
I think the reason why we don't... Oh, also, can you expand a little bit more on Early Park Entry Rope Drop? Early Park Entry is when you are... It is for on-Disney property resort guests. You get into the parks 30 minutes early, where certain rides or certain lands, depending on what park you are in, will open early to only Disney on resort guests. So, because we always stay on Disney property, we always get the additional 30 minutes. Now, during that 30 minutes, in Magic Kingdom, Fantasyland and Tomorrowland open. Tomorrowland, you can always get a Space Mountain reservation, like on Lightning Lane. I would say that's why we don't normally book that one, because you can always get it. And I'm not gonna Rope Drop Space Ranger Spin, because that's silly. So everybody, literally, when I tell you, starts to run, and like physically it just looks like a hot mess.
They all look like they're late to a flight.
Yeah, I am not in the market on my vacation to be running around like a chicken with my head cut off for a ride. So we always will Rope Drop Peter Pan, then Small World, then Haunted Mansion, and I always get a Big Thunder in the morning, or I try, which I've been pretty successful, and I'm gonna pay to skip Mine Train, where I like the ride. It is overrated. It's not even a long roller coaster ride. It's just a fun ride.
I mean, I love it too, but I do.
If I had a BB gun, I'd shoot this bird. I would. I think I would.
I'm okay with the bird.
I know, but it's just, if I had a BB gun, I'd shoot the bird. Okay.
You know what we should shoot? Answers to these next questions. Miscellaneous Disney questions. Miscellaneous
Disney questions is next. So, I noticed that Corey went back to wearing his Magic Band. Did he not like the puck holder?
This is a question all about that I get to answer. This is great.
What's a puck holder? People
what is a puck holder? So, individuals with Apple Watches, a puck holder is an attachment that you can attach to your strap that will hold the physical disc puck thing that is your Magic Band right there, so you don't need to wear the Magic Band, you can attach it to your Apple Watch. The reason why that I got rid of it is that I stopped using my Apple Watch and I wanted to wear more regular watches. I've been becoming more of like a watch collector and want to get like different watches, etc. So I like wearing a normal watch.
Yeah.
And with the bands of a normal watch, you can't put the puck holder on the strap, so I have to go back to the Magic Band. It wasn't a knock to the puck or having it. I thought it was extremely convenient. Brianna's going to start doing that because she just got an Apple Watch, so she's going to start doing it. It's extremely awesome. You don't have to worry about double wrist hands there.
Yeah.
But for me personally, I just like wearing a regular watch just because I just didn't like using the Apple Watch anymore.
Yeah.
That's it.
Best of the Fest from Epcot. Didn't eat one thing.
Did not eat one thing. So TBD, more to come after our May trip.
Because we didn't eat one thing because we were just literally in and out of the park.
The beer though at UK, which is their standard ale that they have there, phenomenal for all your beer drinkers.
What is your favorite thing you guys repeat on every trip?
This one's hard because technically, I mean, granted, like on every trip, we would do it every trip, and on our bigger trips, or the trips that we go ourselves, we repeat it. Yeah. I always look forward to Topolino's.
Me too. We always go to Topolino's on every trip. If we, whatever time that I can get a reservation, we literally will maneuver the entire day around said reservation. We brought my dad last time. We literally go on every single trip that we try to go on.
And he loved it. And for us, for this trip with him, originally planned, we just wanted to do all quick services. Yeah. So it was just never in the thought process for us.
Yeah. I will say one thing that, this is a funny one, but one thing that we do on every trip, even if it's an overnight or a long weekend, we bring and or use our resort mugs. I will never not have my resort mug with me.
Nope.
So that's
one. Here's the actual thing that we do repeat every trip, no matter who it's with or when we do it.
Yeah.
I love myself an initial getting there travel day evening in Disney Springs.
Oh yeah.
That's my favorite.
Yeah, we love Disney Springs on the travel day. It kind of like puts you into that vacation mode. Where are your white sequin ears from?
I don't know the name of the place. Are those the ones on Instagram that you bought off that girl?
I was asking you because they're yours.
Where my white sequin ears from are from Brianna's Closet.
My white sequin ears are from Soarin' Over Main Street Co. on Instagram. Her name is Daphne. I've only ordered one pair of ears from her because I don't wear ears as much anymore. These are my favorite ears. They're Corey's favorite ears that I own. I think that they're so beautiful. They're made so beautifully. They're just beautiful. They're honestly stunning.
They're my favorite pair of ears.
They're really fluffy. The quality is incredible. I'll link her Instagram small shop down below because I do love those ears, and I just think that all of her ear quality is just fabulous. Makeup in the park. Do you want to share your makeup routine?
Elf, Revlon, CoverGirl, Sephora, anything in there.
I do like drugstore makeup, but my makeup, I will link up here my like travel pack and prep with me. I go into what makeup I wear in the parks, but to give you just like a full high level, I try to double SPF. So I wear the e.l.f. Whoa Glow SPF, and then I will normally wear my Tower 28 SPF, more coverage sunscreen, tinted sunscreen, because I like to have coverage on my face. I wear concealer. I set my face with powder because it's hot. I use the Dibs Duo Cream Bronzer and Blush Stick, a little bit of eyebrow gel, some mascara, and some setting spray, and a lip gloss. And that's it.
And I use First Aid Beauty face wash, face lotion.
I like that too.
And Neutrogena SPF 30 oil-free sunscreen.
Something you wish you did on the trip that you didn't get to do. I have two things. I wish that we got the cheeseburger spring rolls because those are my favorite, and I just like forgot. And I wanted to get that, and we just didn't because of the way that the day fell. And I would say the other thing that I wish that we did on this trip that we didn't get to do, which we didn't really do a lot of sit down. And I enjoy a sit down meal. A sit down meal is only 25-30 minutes longer than a quick service, and in my opinion, you're gonna get better food. You're in the air conditioning, you get unlimited soda. I wish that we did a little bit more of like sit down restaurant.
I wish we spent more time in Epcot, and I wish we didn't go back to Magic Kingdom personally, just because I love Epcot. I wish we got to like walk around the World Showcase. We literally went to the UK and then walked back out the main entrance. So I truly wish we had more time in Epcot just to be able to experience it more.
Yeah, I would say that too. What was your favorite part of our March trip?
Favorite part of our March trip?
I feel like I have so many favorite
parts. I know our favorite part. We had the most coolest, rare experience, and we rode the People Mover with the Space Mountain lights on.
That was cool.
Sick. That was literally like a, I don't have like a moment, but that was that moment, and it was awesome.
That was amazing. So I'm gonna say we were there for, let's use our travel day, and then our 2 park days. I'm gonna do a favorite memory from each day.
Okay, fine.
So my favorite memory from the travel day was riding the boat for the first time.
Riding the boat.
That was just like really cool, and we've never done Disney boat transportation before, and it felt really secluded, and it just felt so beautiful.
I'm just gonna say straight up, mine's the exact same thing. The boat was awesome.
All right, and then on our, so that was travel day.
Travel day, day 1.
Our day 1 was Animal Kingdom and Hollywood Studios. I would say riding Slinky at night.
My favorite of the day was, I'm so sorry you weren't included.
That's okay.
Was riding Flight of Passage with Brianna's dad, just because the experiencing
I wasn't included because I had a stomach
She didn't feel well, but experiencing his first experience and just seeing his awe and just like impressiveness and just his initial reaction, just hearing him go through the ride was so good.
I'm so jealous. I really wanted to be there for that. And then my favorite part of the day from the Magic Kingdom and Epcot day. I think my favorite part of the day.
Oh, mine. Okay, I'll just talk on to it. It was the Space Mountain with the lights on.
Mine is gonna be Space Mountain with the lights on, but I need to give an honorable mention to my dad seeing the castle. Just like walking around the corner, and he hadn't been to Magic Kingdom in so long, and it's just, we are really blessed that we get to go to Disney a lot and that we save up for it, and that that's where we spend any free dollar that we have is on our Disney trips. And we love to travel internationally too, but we've just found recently over the last 2 years just this like love for Disney. It's where my brain feels most relaxed, and being able to see him see the castle is like, we get excited to see it, but we see it a lot. So when someone gets to see it for the first time in 12-13 years, that was really cool. So I would say that. So that is going to conclude this video talking about our March Disney trip Q&A. Thanks so much for being here. I had a lot of fun.
I had a blast.
I think that we should start recording the podcast on video.
I've been telling you to do that after
I know, but we've got to figure that out once we actually get home and set up a thing. But thank you so much for being here. I love you guys so much. If you have not yet, make sure to hit that subscribe button, give the video a big thumbs up, and comment down below if you liked this, because I had a lot of fun. We're so happy to do Disney stuff on the channel. That's all I've got. Anything else you got?
I love you all.
Well, thank you all so much for being here. I love you all so much, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, everyone.
Toodles.